at QuickBooks Get Connected in Vancouver. I'm
Yep.
here with Sarah Connor,
Hello.
social media guru and genius.
Yes, thank you.
What is your actual official role with it? Other
So
than
I'm in
guru
digital
to
care, what it's called.
digital
I
care.
started my role technically as social and self-help analyst,
Okay.
but it's kind of shifted into a digital care within our small business group care.
Right, which is, I mean, that's such an
department.
interesting thing to think 5 years ago that title
I
probably
know.
did not exist.
It's so cool, and it's cool to see how quickly people are starting to realize that it's important and
Yeah.
that we need to start doing it and,
Yeah.
and start paying attention to people that need our help on social.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
And do you find that the relationship that you have when you have a social care event versus a phone call is different? Do they have different
Yes.
needs?
I think the expectation's a little different, and then I also feel like the needs are a little bit different too. Sometimes we can get really quick, we answer it really quickly, and it's like an awesome experience that happens within 5 minutes.
Right.
And then other times, and more often,
Let me follow up.
let me follow up. But then it's also like, I've tried a lot of different avenues and I just can't get an answer. I'm coming to social as a last resort. And then we're really able to kind of delight on that forum, which
Right.
makes it almost easy. So
And what is different? Is it in expectations? Is people expect a faster response?
I think it's a little bit that. It's a little bit, they know that it's public and they can go public, and companies tend to pay attention when, hey, you
Right.
know.
And so you get probably a lot more of the people trying to, bullies maybe the wrong word, but try and, this is horrible.
Yeah,
blah,
they
blah,
might puff
accentuate the
yeah,
negative and
exactly.
puff up their chest.
And then as soon as we resolve it, which we're typically able to do, it's like, oh great, you guys are awesome, which is probably their attitude 100 or 99% of the time.
Right,
but frustration happens, right?
Yeah, and you're getting them at their moment of frustration.
Exactly.
And they're trying to leverage the power of social to use that
Yeah.
as a tool against us, which unfortunately is a reality of social. But
Everyone does it.
Yeah, everyone does it. But let's talk about some of the more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because one of the things, and the reason I wanted to interview is because of the great stuff that I see you doing at events like this. And I think the boomerang that you did with T-Sheets is a great example of these really sticky and fun ways of engaging with the community. And we were talking just a few moments ago about, the difference between, doing on-brand messages and doing, I don't know what, connected or just
Engaging maybe, or yeah.
I don't even know what the right word is.
Authentic even. Yeah.
But just, and you have a great ability, and it's what I love about your social media channel and what you do is that you have this great way of doing stuff that's really fun and engaging and succinct. So do you have any strategy behind that? Is it just, comes naturally to you? Are there things people can
Yeah, I think it's a little
do
bit
to
of both.
practice to get better
I think
at
it's
that?
a little bit of both. So I put myself in the shoes of the consumer, right? And I say, what would I want to see? Maybe it's not 100% what everyone wants to see, but especially in social care, when I'm connecting with someone via social, what I want to see is the empathy piece, making sure that it's relatable. And I find that sometimes when it's really, really brand oriented, that can get lost. And so I like to do quick, sort of fun things that make me or whoever's really featured relatable. And I think that's sort of the key to all of it, is just be relatable and have fun with it. Nothing is, we're not solving for world hunger. So I think it's important to have fun, and I think it's important to be funny and fun and goofy.
Why do you think so many people are intimidated by social media?
Oh, because it's so big and it can be permanent. Even if you delete it really quickly, it can be permanent. The audience is so much bigger. You might think that you're a small fish, but really it can get amplified, by anything. So, like, you always hear those stories that go viral, and the people that created it may say, oh, I thought I was just going to get likes from my family and friends, and then next thing you know, 50,000 people have seen it or viewed it. And I think that is part of why it's so intimidating. It's just like, who's really watching? And there's also a bit of an unknown, I don't know how to use this. Everything changes so quickly. And that's why I would be intimidated if I were. I know that's why my mom's intimidated.
So what do you think people can do to overcome that intimidation and just get started? What would you recommend they do to just get started? Is it just literally pick up your phone and start?
Yeah, and it's just dive in, learn, don't be intimidated. People aren't going to hate you for it.
No, and at the beginning, you're not really going to have an audience. So as much as we talk about things going viral, that is such a small percentage of social media. I would love to have videos like this go viral.
Please, let's go viral.
Like and share, yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
I think, diving into it, if you know somebody that, like yourself, who who knows a lot, sit down for even 15 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I learned. I learned just doing it. I learned through you guys. I learned a ton about Twitter through you guys.
It's amazing how social this community is. Like,
Yes.
you wouldn't expect it, but this community is definitely all about Twitter and connecting on social and Facebook. And,
Yeah. Just get connected, literally.
Yeah, get connected.
Hashtag get connected.
Yeah. What do you think about the future, and what platforms are you personally going to spend more time and energy on?
So I still think there's a lot of room. Instagram has a lot of room to grow. I
Yeah.
think because with the stories,
Yeah.
you can consume it so quickly. It's really, really easy. You watch it, you can just click right through. I think Instagram's huge right now. I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunity for new things to sort of slide in and become
The new platform.
the new popular
And you also
thing.
see the old platforms like Facebook trying to replicate what Instagram is doing.
And stay
on that-
relevant.
Yeah, and stay relevant, which is funny because they're unrelated.
I know, but it's funny though because I find Facebook though still somehow becomes that hub of they're pulling in Instagram post to post on
Yeah.
your Facebook. They're pulling in, like, you're posting things from, even if you have it streaming somewhere, it's typically linked to your Facebook.
Yeah.
So I think they have a good grasp on the social media market, I guess
Yeah.
you could call it. But
And what do you think about Snapchat? Do you think, like, I know it's not one that this community tends to go on, but I've sort of heard.
no, I like it.
And I know it's definitely popular with the younger people in my office, but they've sort of saying to me that they think it may be dying off as people move more into Instagram stories and
Yeah.
out of Snapchat.
That's the trend that at least I took. I was on Snapchat a ton, and then I realized that really my follower base on Snapchat was pretty low. Like, unless
Yeah.
I was their friend and had figured out that they had Snapchat too. And then I moved to doing all my storying and all my documenting on Instagram. So for me, that's how that changed. Snapchat has changed. I don't know if you've noticed, it's changed like crazy over the last year. You're able to see all these different news stories. You can swipe up and take you out of the experience completely. So I think they're doing a good job to try to level up.
Right.
But for me, I don't see them as being that relevant anymore.
No, I've
Sorry,
sort of heard that
Snapchat.
as well. Yeah. And I know, like, Instagram is, I hear over and over again, and it's one of the areas that I know I have to hit in 2018 is to make
Yes.
an improvement on my Instagram.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I don't think you're alone in that.
No, I mean, I'm definitely, there's lots of people who aren't on it yet, and lots of people aren't leveraging it, but there's so many people who are leveraging it and doing an amazing job. Like,
Yeah.
Steph Hines from GrowthWise and Ainsley Gemery, who I met at San Jose, crushing it, and it's driving real tangible business
Yeah.
to them. So and it made me realize, okay, I need to spend some time on this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I need to go back to YouTube. I think that's sort of the
Yes.
things that I'm really realizing, which is funny because I do so many videos, but
Yeah.
they're all mostly
Yeah, you
Periscope.
host them in a different place.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And YouTube's a good call out, I think,
Yeah.
because the YouTube community I'm learning, so I'm also active in the fitness community, and so many popular fitness, I guess, personalities had got their start on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's a massive community that I never really got into.
And
but-
this is sad to admit, but the reason that I found out is, excuse me, sir, I apologize. You're
I
in
guess
the
we
middle of
could
our
move.
camera
We
shot.
We
Oh,
are
the
good.
joys of live streaming. Maybe
We
that's
made a mess. We
yeah,
made a donut mess.
we
You're right.
apologize. Which was another social media
That
experiment.
was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun.
And I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about YouTube for a bit.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and so where I learned about why, like, and because I did a whole bunch of YouTube stuff years ago, and sort of got out of it, to be honest, which I don't even remember why I got out of it. I just
Yeah.
got more focused on other
Yeah.
platforms.
Yep.
But it's my daughter and her slime videos. I mean, it's
Really?
it-
Oh, the slime. That's
oh
right.
my God, it's everywhere.
I've
It's
been hearing
all
that,
The
yeah.
kids are all over the slime videos,
Yes.
and my
Yes.
son likes to watch this. One of the kids. There's a kid one who just unwraps toys all the time.
Yeah, unboxing they're
Yeah,
called.
Ryan's Toy Review. That's it. And the kid is apparently making millions of dollars
Yes.
unwrapping toys. I'm like,
How does that even? I would love to know the like science behind the brain activity there. Like, why is that so engaging
compelling. I
and
don't know.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
For some reason, for the younger generation, it is more. My daughter would rather watch YouTube than television.
Weird.
And that's a big shift.
It's a huge shift.
That I think people in marketing need to understand and people in marketing are recognizing that. That's why
Totally.
we have these whole influencer campaigns and why it's so important for accountants and small business owners to leverage the power of social media is because the money is moving from television to social media because that's where the eyeballs are.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's a crazy shift.
Well,
I guess we're getting boxed out now.
Okay, well, thank you, Sarah. I
No
appreciate you.
problem.